Rosie's on the homeowner's best friend.
It's not just gardening, it's elegant, edible landscaping as well.
Yes. I mean, that's what we specialize in. That's what agriscaping.com is all about. That's what we're cultivating. We want to try to improve the local food system by integrating the best of productive agriculture with the best of your ornamental landscaping. And what we find is that there's a lot of benefits to that. And you'll find it anytime you're even in the garden yourself. So some of the benefits right out of the gate for an elegant garden is that you're going to spend more time in it. And if you want more peace in your life, a lot of people find that Zen experience is being out in nature, and not only in just any nature, but nature that has some order and has some beauty to it. It inspires you. It decompresses all the craziness in your life just to be in a beautiful garden. So number one, an elegant garden is going to get you in it more, and it's going to improve your whole experience of life. And people will want to gather with you more in those kind of beautiful spaces. If you don't think that's true, look at an empty lot that's full of weeds versus a very ornate landscape. It's like, who are you going to want to invite to a party? More people coming to your party that's in a vacant lot with a bunch of junk on it, or is it going to be that elegant landscape that looks very manicured?
And elegant doesn't mean expensive either.
No.
We're not breaking the bank. Well maintained or just paid attention to can look elegant.
Yeah, if I look back at kind of the origin story of cultivated gardens, we look at stories in the Bible about Adam and Eve cultivating a beautiful garden. So it's a part of the root of who we are as humans, I think, to be a part of that. But
and they didn't even have electric steel equipment.
Yeah, right. They didn't have all the equipment. It's like, what were they using? And a lot of that, in my mind, God created a lot of beautiful elegance already. And a lot of our most beautiful gardens that are cultivated intentionally are actually patterned after nature's own garden. Just nature growing itself. Japanese gardens, some of the most premier Japanese gardens that are 300 years old and stuff, are patterned after nature. They take big nature things like mountains and streams and rivers and valleys, and they miniaturize them. And they create that experience in a smaller space. They create reflections of nature. And that's one of the ways to create a very natural feeling, elegant garden, is taking big scenes in nature that already exist that wow you and shrink them down into your backyard or shrink them down into your front yard. You take and create a vignette experience, a miniature version of the same thing. And that's one of the things that inspires people. So no matter how small your garden is, you can make it feel big by miniaturizing some of your favorite scenes in nature and bringing them into your yard. And so that's one of my favorite ways. First ways to create an elegant garden is just to mimic nature in a small scale and really showcase it.
Now, this talking point is farther down on your notes, but it seems appropriate to bring it in right here while we're talking, getting everything established. How big of a factor are HOA restrictions when you're doing this?
Well, the cool thing about most HOAs is that they respect nature here in Arizona. They really do respect nature. And a lot of them are trying to reflect a synergy or a sustainability with nature, as well as a cultivated space that then creates some uniformity and helps improve your property values and make it a little bit more predictable. And so with HOAs, what I've found, especially if you're dealing in the edible space, that every HOA, I haven't found a single HOA requirement in the state of Arizona so far that on its list doesn't already have edible plants on it.
And we're not encouraging you to be the first HOA if you're listening.
No. If you're the first, you don't want to be the first HOA that doesn't allow it, because what you'll find is you're going to be restricting many native edibles, and you're not going to want to do that anyway. And another thing to take into consideration is when an HOA is formed, obviously it's trying to protect the sanctity and the kind of the look of the neighborhood, so it has continuity. Again, it's a lot about property values, and it also helps reduce, the nitpicking between neighbors that often happens. It's like, I don't like the color of their rock. It's like, well, it's an approved rock. And so they have someone that you can talk to about that. So I know in Power Ranch, it's like, no one's allowed to have any color except the same color as their neighbor. Like, there's no other color. It's like you got the Apache brown, I think is what it is in Power Ranch and Gilbert, and that's it.
That's all you got.
That's your option. You got, small, medium, and large size of the same color. That's what you got. You can have any color as long as it's black. It's any color as long as it's that color. Any size as long as it's that color. And that creates a really interesting feel as you go into a neighborhood, because then you feel it's almost like every street is your street. Every yard is kind of part of your yard experience. It's the experience that your guests get to experience. They get the same as they're driving in. It's all part of the experience to visit your house. They don't get this calico experience as they coming through. They don't have green rocks, orange rocks, white rocks, and painted rocks. It's all a little bit more uniform. It's not distracting. People can be focused on coming to you, visiting you, your house. So on the plus side, there's an experience that all of your guests are going to have that is enhanced by the HOA.
Rosie on the house, every Arizona homeowner's best friend.